Broadcasting live from the arena in the nation of, I'm not joking, Kush, on the continent of Arona, on the plain of Dominaria. This is Tap Tap Concede. Welcome, everybody. Joining me this week is Cameron.
Hello.
And Nelson, who suggested that card.
Native Cushian.
Turns out that was a long walk, and that we had to look up where the arena was from. The land card arena, which is 3 and it's a land, and all it does is 3 and tap, and you and your creature and an opponent's creature fight, and you also tap them. But it was a book promo that came with the novel Arena, and so we were just looking up what happens, and it takes place during festival in the town of Estark, which is in
Kush.
the nation of Kush. Yes, Kush.
All those clouds on the arena.
Yeah.
We thought it was, like when the card first came out, we thought it was the idea that your creature and your opponent's creature had to go and fight, and that's why they tapped?
Yeah.
Turns out, everyone on Kush is tapped all the time.
Yeah.
Hey. But we mentioned Arena because today we're going to be talking about some new information about MTG Arena. There was a big new update. Dominaria is on Arena. They released a whole bunch of new information about their economy going forward, and so there's much to discuss. So we're going to do that after we do a Crack-A-Pack, and just before that, we're going to remind you the Tap Tap Concede is brought to you by Card Kingdom. CardKingdom.com/LRR. Please go there, put their affiliate code on there, and all that does is tell them that we sent you, and we do that because we think they're great. I once again this week had another tweet with someone being like, I didn't believe you, and yet the shipping was super fast. And if you tell them Loading Ready Run sent me, button please, you'll get a little 1-inch button, which currently says it's like one of the Kamigawa flip cards. It says flood or screw, depending on which way up it goes.
That's a good button.
And they estimate they're going to run out during Dominaria orders, so you probably want to get in there.
You may have already missed that button by the time this airs. We're filming on Friday.
Yeah, it's going to air on Monday. They only just started that bag, so they should still have some.
If you're lucky, you can get flooded or screwed.
Yeah. And of course, everything is brought to you by you and your kind support of our Patreon at patreon.com/LoadingReadyRun. So thank you so much. All right, roll the die. Let's get into it with a Crack-A-Pack.
There's no way this is staying on the table.
Oh. 8. All right. Is this one 1? Which one's okay? Sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Hey.
Shadows over Innistrad. This was given to us by Chris, and it arrived via mail time. Where is this from? This is...
It does look like a slightly different pack.
Yeah. Or maybe I just don't remember what Shadows...
Retail?
It doesn't have the extended
it doesn't have the peg
seal at the top for the peg. Although maybe that's just been clipped, because it definitely...
It says EN, which I assume means English, and I don't know why that's relevant, so this might be a European.
I wonder if it came inside another product.
Oh,
sometimes when you get like the bundle packs, they're like a little different or something.
So, first up, we have an evergreen functional reprint of Devilthorn Fox. It's a 3/1 for 1 and a white.
Do these have a name, a generic name?
Ooh, great question.
I don't know, and you'd think they would.
The first one we saw in white was Blade of the Sixth Pride from Future Sight. And it was from the cycle of vanilla creatures that got all of their card given to the art, except for like the border.
Right.
So I believe this is the oldest one of its kind. They tried to give us 5 creatures that were all sort of exciting and different, pushing the boundaries of vanilla creatures just a little bit.
Right.
So
unfortunately, it's like calling it a blade.
Yeah,
really
no,
work.
this isn't.
Yeah.
A 6th
Cat Rebel. Yeah, I don't know. No, I don't think it has a gray ogre type thing.
I remember more recently there was the Oreskos Swift Spear, I want to say.
Sure, that sounds
Theros
like a
block.
thing.
But I think there was one just prior. I think there was Blade of the Sixth Pride, and then nothing for like a decade, and then there was one just before Theros, I want to say, and people were like, "Oh, a 3/1 for 2."
Well, there was definitely one in Mirrored and Besieged that had Battle Cry, And that one was pretty good.
It was the paladin, right?
The quarter paladin?
Was it a quarter paladin?
I think so.
That definitely sounds like a card, but I'm not sure if it's the card I'm thinking of. Yep, well done, Cam. Cool. So this one was like pretty good.
Yeah.
You know, it saw some play. Like even if it's only pumping one other creature, it's already like decent stats. So if you're in, there were some weight-based aggro decks, and they tried this guy out. If you were next to make 3 goblins for 1 red mana with this guy, it was pretty sweet.
There are 17 cards in white that are 3/1s for 2. So
Can you tell if Blade was the oldest one?
Yeah,
was I right about that?
Probably.
looks like you are correct.
Then what's the earliest common that's not Blade of the Sixth Pride?
Okay.
Quarter paladin. Oh, that's our.
So you were right
That's
also.
okay.
Then maybe they didn't do it again for like 10 years.
Yeah, they didn't do it for a while.
Yeah.
Looks like
This wasn't a big push on power, by the way. This is
we
after
got Daring
Watchwolf.
Skyjack.
Oh yeah, Daring
Skyjack.
Skyjack. That one was decent.
Yeah,
Right.
that one had
That
battalion.
one also got both this guy
Yeah.
and a quarter paladin saw a little bit of constructive play.
Oh yeah,
Not a
Skyjack was
ton.
common.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Skyjack. Yeah,
They
remember
saw
the
more
Boros
draft
deck in this?
play, but they saw some.
For those
constructive play.
who are only listening, Daring Skyjack was the one from Gate Crash, 3/1 for 1 and a white, with battalion, meaning if you attacked with 3 creatures, well, whenever Skyjack attacked, if you had a total of 3 creatures attacking, it gained flying until end of turn. So,
Yeah, there's
pretty cool.
None of them, in terms of like vanilla ones, you've got the Swift Claw.
Swift Claw, Oresco
So that's
Swift
from
Claw.
Born of the Gods, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
Journey to Nyx, but yeah.
Oh, Journey.
Oh,
okay, cool.
Yeah. I get those two confused.
Yeah, I
every
can
time.
remember it wasn't Theros because I just drafted a ton of triple Theros.
Anyway, you want to know what blocks all of these creatures astonishingly well? Our next card from Shadows of Innistrad, Silent Observer, 3 and a blue for a 1/5 flyer.
Give me all these control decks.
It's a spirit, which was actually marginal relevant.
Super relevant. It's one of the tribes from Shadows.
Oh yeah, no, it was. Yeah. But the Silent Observer was like, you might play it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
this
like
fit into your all flying deck, even though it was overcosted. You would still just jam this guy sometimes, and he would deal the last 2 points. Right?
Boarded in against something. Crow
Double
of-
Thorn Foxes for sure.
Yeah. It also blocks a Crow of Dark Tidings, 2 and black for a 2/1 flyer. When it enters the battlefield or dies, you put the top 2 cards of your library into your graveyard. It's a Delirium Enabler. Yeah, these cards
that
feel weird. This must be some
Milling for 2 was actually that's actually considered to be a bonus in this.
Yeah.
Yeah,
set,
in a strat
yeah.
block, you want to get your graveyard happening as a resource.
Yeah, this must have been printed in some sort of ancillary product. The cards feel weird. Stern Constable. It's a 1/1 for a single white. Tap and discard a card. Again, an upside in this format. And tap target creature. Discarding even better than milling because you could potentially get madness value. Ghostly Wings. It's 1 and a blue for a creature enchantment. The creature gets +1/+1 and flying. Also, you can discard a card to return the enchanted creature to its owner's hand. So you can save your creature.
or if
And
you're
activate
really desperate,
Madness or Delirium.
you can get rid of this can unsummon an opponent's creature.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
If you pitch
if
2.
you're utterly desperate. Hey,
Yeah.
if
That's
it's-
not that bad.
If it means you win the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like 2 mana blue terror. It can target anything. Yeah.
Explosive Apparatus is a single mana for an artifact that says 3 and tap and sacrifice it to deal 2 damage to target creature or player.
Apparently you never do this. You never pull out the pin with your teeth.
Oh, that's just a thing on TV or whatever.
Yeah.
Does that mean, is that because the what, not paddle, what's it called, the
Spoon?
yeah, is that because the spoon twats you in the face?
No, apparently the pin is in the grenade tighter than your teeth are in your head.
Oh,
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm
They-
uncomfortable hearing that.
Those things aren't there to be pulled easily.
Right. Well,
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
You
Good
want
for you, grenade
they want you
makers.
to
That was
really-
a smart call.
You have to mean it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they want you to mean it. Rush of Adrenaline is a single red mana. Target creature gets +2/+1 and trample. I like a combat trick that gives trample.
This
Yeah.
is my lead for first pick so far.
Yeah.
If we're on triple shadows, I just want to be in red-green werewolves.
Sweet.
I
then-
love the also the Billy Kwan art, where this guy's just like flying at your neck.
Yeah. Well then, Nelson, may I recommend instead Rabid Bite?
Okay.
1 and a
Yep.
green for a sorcery.
That's an
Target
upgrade.
creature you control deals damage equal to its power to a target creature you don't control. The old one-sided fight.
This was maybe the first instance of this ability, and I don't think they brought it back a And they played with it for a couple years there. Like there was one of these in Kaladesh also.
Wasn't
But
there?
I don't know if there was one in Amonkhet block or Ixalan.
I want to
Maybe
say
there was.
I want to say there was, but there was also no, because Pounce was still a fight.
Yeah.
Unnatural predation. Was it? Was it
That's
predation?
Kaladesh, isn't it? Or,
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
I think it was a punch, and then also randomly your creature got trample and vigilance.
yeah.
It was an uncommon.
But I think for the last year worth of printings, I'm not sure if they've given this ability to green.
no, sorry, unnatural predation was.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
just like combat
There-
tricks with they give trample. No,
There's
it
one
was,
from Kaladesh.
Yeah,
block
the one
right
that I
there.
described was from Kaladesh. It's like 1 and a green, and it punches, then your creature gets trample and vigilance. Anyway.
To me, this doesn't seem. I don't know what's rabid about this. Like it's just a bite. He's just biting some
Right.
like this is just a creature biting another creature. There's no like lasting rabies effect going
Right.
on here.
I mean, it turns out rabies is a silent killer. You know, it's
Yeah.
just nothing you see until
I think-
they're biting someone when they shouldn't be.
I think the werewolf's just really surprised. He's like, "What?
Yeah.
Someone's biting me? What? Is this what I've been doing all these years?"
By the way,
this how all
rabies
those
is no
people felt?
joke. You know, if you're feeling any weird symptoms, like
Yeah,
aversion
go-
to,
go get checked out.
Yeah, absolutely. Go to
Did
your
you ever
doctor.
hear
Or
the
if you get
story
bit by a wild animal, just go to the doctors immediately.
Did you ever hear the story about the first rabies? How they isolated the rabies virus?
No, I don't know the story.
Oh,
Yeah.
they would hold down like a rabid dog and then like mouth pipette the foam
Huh.
out of its mouth to get it, and they kept a pistol on hand for the dog and also for the researcher in case they ingested the
Wow.
thing.
Good lord.
Yeah, rabies bad. Rabies bad before the vaccines.
Yeah.
Thanks to medical science.
We're lucky people to
Man,
live in the
those-
conditions we do. Yeah.
the treatment of grad students has stayed about the same level
Yeah.
over the years.
Aw.
Next card
Nice
is
one, Paul.
Magmatic Chasm. 1 and a red for sorcery. Creatures without flying can't block this turn. This definitely won a couple games in that format.
It's like a 23rd in the red-green werewolf deck, yeah.
That guy's in trouble.
Definitely one of my favorite.
That carriage is not doing well.
No, definitely one of my favorite inherently jokey card names in a very long time is the Uninvited Geist, which
It's a
is
good one.
2 and a blue for a 2/2 spirit with Skulk, which, if you recall, is this creature cannot be blocked by creatures with greater power. So you can only block the Uninvited Geist with a creature with 0, 1, or 2 power. When it deals combat damage to a player, you transform it. So they're obliged to want to block it because otherwise it'll turn into the Unimpeded Trespasser, which is simply a 3/3 that can't be blocked.
Yep.
With the flavor text, knocking was simply a formality.
I love. I guess did Dan Scott do the artwork for what was the blue combat or not the blue put?
Oh, Grasp of Phantasms?
Yeah, Grasp of Phantasms.
Oh, right.
Probably. Lots of arms.
Yeah, lots of long arms with long fingers.
Yeah, Grasp of Phantasms, flashback,
Izzy.
removal
Oh,
spell
that was
from
Izzy.
the first Izzet strand.
Oh.
There's definitely some connection there, though, right?
Yeah.
Like, so
Yeah.
maybe Dan Scott was inspired by Izzy's work there.
Next is Broken Concentration. 1 blue, instant counter target spell, but it has Madness for 3 and a blue. So this is interesting because the Madness has 1 fewer blue pips, so it's easier on your blue mana, but it is overall more expensive. So you're only really going to Madness this when you're also getting advantage for having discarded a card.
I don't mean to interrupt you, but do you want an overcosted counterspell or an overcosted counterspell?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't actually like either side of this card. If
Yeah,
I'm, if
no,
I'm
I mean,
honest.
Because you also need an instant way to discard a card for
Yeah.
this.
Yeah,
to
there
work.
were there was
There
some
were,
number of those.
there were some,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean-
we saw some in this pack.
I
Yeah.
definitely felt good when I enabled this because man, I draft this card.
How do I have you?
Oh, it was fine.
Didn't-
It was
It's not
totally
great.
fine.
Didn't do what you wanted it to
No,
do. Huh?
but this artwork was actually nominated for an award.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. The artwork
Yeah.
is good. Yeah. That's sweet.
Next is Humble the Brute, which looks very Bloodborne in the art. 4 and a white, instant, destroy a target creature with power 4 or greater, which is the same as Smite the Monstrous for 1 generic mana more, except this also has Investigate, which is you get a clue. So, neat.
Draw some cards.
Sometimes you'd run it because you had to.
It's an expensive 2 for 1. Yeah.
Destroy the brute, and then investigate afterwards.
Yeah.
It was a brute.
Yeah, right.
Stencia Masquerade is 2 and a red for an enchantment, And it takes a lot to want to run a red enchantment, but this one actually wasn't bad. Attacking creatures you control have first strike, which is a great time for your creatures to have first strike. And whenever a vampire you control deals combat damage to a player, you put a +1/+1 counter on it. Also, randomly, this is an enchantment with madness. So if you do want to discard a card, say to flip up your Heir to the Night, I want to say. If you want to transform your Heir to the Night.
Air, I think it's called.
Yeah.
On the front side, and then.
Yeah, Falkenrath Heir and then Heir to the Night, I think. Yeah, anyway.
There were a
if
few
you,
vampires with instant speed activated abilities.
then you
Discard
can
card.
you can cast it that way and get additional value off of cast. Like it's the same. The madness cost is the same as the casting cost, but maybe you can get some incremental advantage by having discarded it. It's much more likely in this scenario than whenever a counter spell would go off.
And what's fun is that there's a bunch of vampire, like that's sort of the vampire effect is the
Growing, it's the slits effect.
Growing
Right?
might
They
deal damage.
adopted it from the slits.
so once it gets so your vampires that don't have that effect gain it, and the ones that do have it get double.
Yeah, it stacks for sure. Unlike first strike.
Got a really fun rare. We have a spirit and a checklist card, and our rare is
Ooh,
the
Hey.
Gitrog monster.
nice.
It is
Thanks, Chris.
three black green for a 6/6 legendary creature, frog horror. It has death touch because a 6/6 needs death touch. At the beginning of your upkeep, you sacrifice it unless you sacrifice a land, which seems like a bad thing, but wait. You may play an additional land on each of your turns, so you can get extra land out there. And whenever one or more land cards are put into your graveyard from anywhere, you draw a card. So you get, like, you have to sack a land, but you get to draw another card. And if you end up drawing land for your turn and land off the Gitrog monster, you can just play both those lands. So this card is great.
It's a lot of fun.
It's a
a
6/6
powerful
with
card.
death. It's a 6/6 death touch
It's a
for 5.
5-mana 6/6 with death touch that draws you cards and like choose through your deck. It's a very popular EDH
Yeah.
commander.
Yeah.
Apocryphally.
Yeah, this did some great work in our Commander game that we streamed just last week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It ate Thalia.
Yep.
Did it?
No.
There's a joke about that, right?
There
Yeah,
is-
there's a meme. Yeah.
There was an episode of North 100 where Liam made some reference to. There's some sort of local.
Oh, maybe it's just a YJ meme.
I think it's
thought
a
they
YJ
got it
mem.
from the internet.
No,
maybe
I think it's a YJ meme.
Ben or Jay or Liam just made
the
it up.
Gitrog
Yeah.
monster ate Thalia. That's not actually a thing that
Okay.
happened in the story, but then Liam said that that's what happened on an episode of North 100, and people were like, "That's not the lore," and he was
Right.
like, "I'm not going to
Don't
explain
care,
this
probably.
joke."
Yeah.
So anyway,
But Gitrog Monster's great.
yeah.
Yeah.
I also wanted to say, Uninvited Geist, I feel like could have made the Graham's cut for nicknames for that set.
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't know if you guys did a nickname episode for Shadows over Innistrad, but it felt like
Yeah,
that one
I
would
think we
just would
did,
have
yeah.
just would stay
That
there.
one just gets right in there.
It gets
yeah.
it's
Yeah.
already there, so that's sweet.
Yeah, it's always slightly annoying when WotC does our job for us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
He who hungers. Yeah.
today, we're going to be talking about MTG Arena. We participated in, James and I participated in the big stream event that they did earlier this week. It was a big sort of like Wizards of the Coast sponsored event. They had 27 streamers of all sorts of varying sizes. I think the two biggest were, three biggest were probably who aren't typically in the Magic category on Twitch were Amaz, who streams a lot of Hearthstone, Brian Kibler, who of course
streams
streams
a lot
a lot of
of
Hearthstone,
Hearthstone.
and Crip, who
Okay.
I mean also Hearthstone, but
streams
lots
a lot
of
of
lots of Blizzard games in general. But so they definitely were high up there. But also regulars like us or Kenji who had the
Kenji's,
Nummy
yeah.
and
Gabby, maybe, was she?
yeah, Gabby was there, Ilion was there, a lot of Magic the Amateuring who we actually ended up playing on stream. And so it was a preview of two things. It was a preview of Dominaria being added to MTG Arena, which is now in the current live update for the beta, and also drafting in Arena. So what they had was what they're calling a quick draft, which is definitely inspired by other CCGs like Hearthstone, like Eternal, where because in Hearthstone when you draft, you sit down and there's no
There's
table.
no opponents in draft.
Yeah, there's no table. It just goes, here's 3 cards. Which one do you want?
Yeah.
And you just do that until you have a deck. But Magic has a system where drafting happens. So basically, the quick draft is you draft against 7 AI, and the currently where they're pulling their AI data from is drafts on MitGo.
Oh, really?
Which is interesting. So they warned us that the draft AI that we drafted against is not even as smart as the Dominaria draft AI will be when Quick Draft actually comes to the beta.
That must have been a fun problem to work on.
Uh-huh.
So you open this, you evaluate the cards.
Yeah.
Or the AI evaluates the cards, takes the best card, and then looks for cards that synergize well with it.
Yeah.
Right? Like if I pick, I don't know, something, then the cards that go well with that are like aggressive creatures or control-y creatures or... Yeah, okay, neat.
So what's interesting there is that because you're not drafting against any humans, it's totally asynchronous. So you can actually, you can pick 3 cards and be like, whoops, gotta go, and just quit the program and leave. And then come back later and finish your draft. Because again, we were playing on like a super production build that's not even as stable as the actual closed beta. We drafted a second time and it actually crashed.
Right.
Super alpha build.
Super alpha build. Well, yeah, I guess they called it a production build, but.
So could you pick up where you left off after it
So
crashed?
yeah,
Did it? Yeah,
yeah,
remember
because
your last pick?
it was just like, what pick were you on? It was.
Unlike
it was totally
having
fine.
to
So-
play in real time with other opponents,
Yeah.
that has this advantage.
Which, as the name Quick Draft implies, they do intend for there to be actual drafts against 7 other humans. Right. But at that point, you're priced into there'll be like time limits for the picks, and you have to actually fill a queue. But for just like popping off a draft, the idea of just like, yeah, sure, I'll just draft against AI. Maybe you end up with a better deck that way. I don't actually know. But then what you do is you get paired against other people who have quick drafted. So I assume when they add human
Head-to-head.
human
Yeah.
drafts, you will get paired against other people who have also drafted against humans. I don't believe those are shared enemy
PvP
pools.
drafts.
Yeah,
Sort
exactly.
of like the way draft leagues work now.
Yeah, exactly. So what we were doing is everyone was doing the quick draft against AI, and then we were being paired against the other streamers or members of the WotC staff that were around in chat. And the draft interface was great. You had two options for layout. One very similar to how it looks on Magic Online, with currently fewer controls for how your cards are laid out in the lower half, how your picks are laid out, or something that's much more like other digital card games where 2/3 of the screen are just all the cards in a field, and the right third of the screen is a itemized list of all the cards you
Okay,
picked.
sure.
And you can drag stuff into your picks or your sideboard, and you can get like stats on how many creatures you have and all that sort of stuff. And then when you're done the drafting, you can finish tuning up your deck, and then you jump into the queue. And the way that Quick Draft works, at least, was you play until 7 wins or 3 losses, and then you get prize payouts based on
How many wins,
yeah,
right?
on how you do. And so a big part of their update prior to that event also involved a large update to the economy, because people were like, but how much are drafts going to cost? Because you look at Magic Online, and drafts cost essentially as much as they do in paper.
Yeah.
Right? It's like,
The price of
is it
packs.
12 tickets?
It's usually
Or
14, I
tickets,
think. Yeah, last time I did.
Or 3 packs and 2 tickets.
Yeah.
So it's like,
Comes out to about $14, which is like.
because how
paying-
much are drafts at YJ?
Well, I think they might be $20 now, but they were like 17.
This
the
is
last time
Canadian.
I worked. Yeah, 17 Canadian dollars,
And
which is like 14 American
Boosters
dollars.
are more expensive here, yes.
Yeah, so it's like the same thing where it's like, I'm used to them being like the price of 3 packs retail and then $2.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of the same thing on Magic Online.
And so people were
So change to
saying-
the economy to Arena, right?
yeah, and well, just people were saying that it for the kind of program they're trying to make with Arena, that it would have to be cheaper than that,
Right.
That like if you're making even though the actual gameplay and the draft experience is the same, if you're trying to position Arena as this much more drop-in, drop-out, casual, free-to-play thing, especially something that they intend to be available on mobile devices, that it would have to be cheaper than that.
They want it to compare to the cost of a draft in Hearthstone or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Or Eternal.
And also, there's no secondary market on Arena.
Right,
which
yeah,
is a big change.
Yeah,
from
they're
the game.
they've made some changes to the economy, but they haven't rolled out, nor does it seem like there's a hint that they're going to allow trading, allow a secondary market.
Yeah.
Right?
So,
Which is similar to those other games too.
yeah.
Right.
So the price of a draft in Magic Arena is $5,
Right.
which seems
Seems-
pretty sweet.
Yeah.
They're not phantom. Anything you draft goes into your Magic Arena collection. If you draft a card you already have 4 of, then that goes towards your vault. The vault is how they handle multiples, because it's digital. You only need 4 of a card.
You can't trade those 5th ones away.
Yeah, so it just doesn't give you the 5th one, and instead gives you percentage towards your vault. And when you get to 100% of your vault, then you get a bunch of what are called wild cards. And I think it's like 3 uncommons, 2 rares, and a mythic is what we encountered on Wednesday anyway. And then you can take your mythic wild card and be like, I will trade this in for 1 of any mythic I want, right? And then that's how you build your
Thanks for
collection.
explaining that. I read the recent article, but didn't actually know what the vault was or how that worked.
Yeah.
Okay.
Out of
So
curiosity,
you actually can build a deck out of your wild cards, like
Yeah.
so you get enough vault power or whatever. And
Yeah,
then you
exactly.
feel like I will play
gonna
red green
ship-
aggro because I have
Yeah.
enough dust.
Once
Yeah.
you've used your wild card, that's you
Then you have a card,
You have
yeah.
exchanged it for that card, but yeah.
are cards that you draft that you already have 4 of in your collection, are they grayed out like they are in when you open packs?
Interesting.
Does it-
Interesting
don't
question. So can
think-
you tell in the draft whether you're picking a card for your collection or a card for your vault?
I actually don't know. I don't.
That might be a
think
cool part of
so.
the update.
Yeah.
I haven't played any
That
Arena
could be
yet at
interesting.
all.
Yeah, because
I applied for a thing.
I mean, like,
But I got turned down.
I figured that would be like, that might be how you wind up going through the last third of pack 3, right? Is picking,
Just trying to pick great
Just-
cards to slowly grind up to a Jace,
Yeah.
essentially.
That's an interesting thought.
yeah,
It's like it's not money drafting.
Yeah.
Because you're probably drafting
drafting.
crappy cards.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
But it works
or
out
like
to
vault drafting.
But it helps
Yeah.
in incremental amounts. That's a really good point.
yeah. Well, I mean, like, you're not picking like garbage cards, but you're probably picking up stuff that are like, functional combat tricks, things that you have 4 of.
Yeah.
Right.
have they said what the prizes for a draft will be?
Yeah,
Yes.
and they're not bad, actually. Let me pull up the
So
article.
they have a constructed queue that's the same thing as the draft, and I believe to chain on the constructed queue, you need to get to
4 and
5. Is it only 4? Yeah, maybe
4
it's
and
only
3.
4 wins out of before you hit 3 losses.
Yeah, because
But-
it's 500 gold to buy into a constructed queue.
Right.
And at 4 wins, it pays out 500 gold
But
again.
it's a bit more gold to get into a draft queue. Maybe it's 1,000 or it's 5,000 or something.
Yeah, it is.
So, but it can still pay out the same amount in number of wins. But I believe you need to get to 6 wins.
Oh, okay.
So that now you can take 3 losses while you're playing this draft queue. So it's like you just need to go 6 and 3. So, but you need to get to like 6 and 2, or you can be
Right.
7 and 2 and then 6 and 3. No matter whether you hit the 3rd loss or your last win, you'll still be able to draft again.
So, yeah.
Which is not that bad. 6 and 2 that's like a 3-0
Yeah.
and a 2-1 and a 1-2 or another 2-1 either way, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
it's like
it's not an unreasonable reward or
Yeah.
an unreasonable request for a skilled player.
for sure.
Yeah, so it's- 'cause
so
it's-
chaining drafts might not be that hard.
Yeah.
Essentially is what I'm saying.
So I said it was $5 to draft, $5 US. And the way that works is because it is a modern mobile game, there is an in-game currency. The in-game currency of gold is the one that has already existed in the beta, and that's the one that you earn through gameplay. And you can buy into a draft for 5,000 gold. For those who've been playing the beta or seeing us play the beta, you will also recall that it's 1,000 gold to just buy a booster, and you can earn gold fairly reasonably. In fact,
You get
the
it
idea.
seems like 400 a day or something like that just for kind of logging in.
Yeah, the idea is if you jam on a bunch of the quick constructed, you should be able to earn 1 draft a week
Right. Yeah.
just by playing, which is not bad.
Yeah.
The real money currency is gems. And so $5 US gets you 750 gems. And 750 gems buys you into a draft. And then depending on your wins, if you go 0 wins, you get 50 gems back. Then 1 is 100, 2 is 200, 3 is 300, 4 is 450. 5 wins gets you 650, which is, as you mentioned, still not quite enough. 6 wins gets you 850, which means it's enough to buy you back in and net you 100 gems. And then 7 wins is 950 gems. And again, you keep all the cards that you drafted.
And can you also then just use these gems to go buy wildcards, essentially? Like say, one of the important things they rolled out is how draft's going to work. Everyone's, I'm sure, really excited for draft. And then the other thing that it seems is maybe kind of up in the air for a lot of people, whether they're playing the beta or not, is, hey, say I don't have a ton of time, but I do have a credit card, and I want to install Arena once the beta's over, and then just buy a deck.
Yeah. So
how does that work?
Currently, the way that works is you can spend 600 gems on 3 packs.
Okay.
Now again, Arena packs are
less cards or something, right?
8 card boosters.
Sure.
I should have said, by the way, those wins, the 0 wins through 7 wins.
Oh right, in draft you always get packs, right?
You get all the gem amounts I said, and it says here 1 to 3 8 card boosters.
Right.
So the 8 card boosters are like the sort of the prize things. The draft boosters, again, it's just like normal draft. They're 14 card packs. They don't have the basic land because you don't need them. But yeah, it's 14 card packs in the draft. It's just like paper draft.
So yeah, there's draft packs on Arena that are like real packs.
Yeah.
And then they have these prize packs, which are more like, I don't know, you saw them in Walmart.
Well, I think it's
Packs of the Dark.
Yeah,
It's-
those are the ones that you buy for 1,000 gold.
Yeah, so
Okay,
it's more that
okay.
every pack is the 8 pack. It's just
Unless you
the
sit down
draft
and
ones
draft,
are
yeah.
fancy. Yeah.
So to buy 3 of those 8 card packs is 600 gems, which is less than $5. 1,200 gems gets you 6 packs, which includes at least 1 uncommon and 1 common wild card.
Okay.
Because those 8 card packs could just randomly have wild cards.
So once
in
you
them.
start buying bundles of packs, you get wild cards for sure. Okay.
3,000 gems, which is it's like around $17, gets you 15 packs, which include at least 1 rare, 3 uncommon, and 3 common wild cards.
Okay.
9,000 gems, which is a little under $50, is 45 8-card packs, and at least 1 mythic, 3 rare, 9 uncommon, and 9 common wild cards, and a copy of Fire Song and Sun Speaker.
So that's like a box.
Buy a box.
Sun
Yeah.
Spear.
Right.
Yeah, and then for 18,000 gems, which is 20,000 gems is $100. So for 18,000 gems, that's 90 packs, 98 card packs, with at least 3 mythic, 6 rare, 18 uncommon, and 18 common wild cards, and 2 copies of Fire Song.
Okay, so if you buy 2 boxes bundled together, you get an extra mythic wild card. Like that's the important thing. So if you're looking at building a deck, and I'm just going to pick some numbers out of the air, say on average standard decks have like 12 mythics that you need. That's right. A bunch of them only have like 4 or 5. But say you need to go with like 12 mythics, and then you probably need like 30 rares.
I don't think it's unfair to say that for 100 real-world Earth dollars, you could get a Tier 1 standard deck on Arena.
So you think you only need to buy this thing once, and then
I think
your packs
so.
you open.
Is
plus
the-
your
yeah,
wild
well,
cards?
okay.
Is the distribution?
I was
of
going to
the-
guess you need to buy 3 of them.
Is
I
the
don't think so.
distribution
But
in
that's
the
what
8
standard
card packs? Is it like 1 rare, 2 uncommons, and the rest commons?
Yes.
Commons?
Yeah, so it's 1 rare, 2 uncommon, 5 commons. But again,
Can you
And
get
the rare,
So-
of course, could be a mythic.
Are there foils?
no.
Okay.
So yeah, the rare could be a rare or a mythic, and it could be a wild card. So again, in those things, you are guaranteed 3 mythic wild cards, but you also have 90 packs.
Right.
So you could easily open another. And regardless, if you're opening 90 packs,
You'll hit something.
chances are you're going to advance your
vault.
your vault maybe even twice,
Right.
which also gets you a mythic and 2 rare wild cards.
The other question I guess I wanted to ask, and I hope that I'll know the answer already, is the mythic drop rate on average the same as a normal boost pack? Because
I actually don't know.
You get a mythic in every about 8 packs, right?
In-
7
in-
and a quarter,
in
or
real-
something like that.
in real
Yeah.
paper, okay.
Yeah. So about every 8 packs, you get 1 mythic. That's what the distribution is supposed to be. So if it was the same for these arena boosters, then maybe
I
you're
don't
right.
know if they have released that information, but presumably a wild card would be sort of like a foil, like it would be rarer again than the normal version of that.
Right.
Like a mythic wild card would be rarer than a regular mythic.
Yeah. It's neat that they guarantee these wild cards with these purchases. That'll probably sell some.
I've seen people on the MTG Arena subreddit, which is it's an angry place. I wouldn't recommend it. But I've seen people who have done the like, well, I did it. I spent the $100. Here's what I got.
Great. Yeah. And
sort
they
of
showed
done
off.
breakdowns. And
Yeah.
that's where I'm getting the sort of general impression.
Crack boxes.
that
Yeah.
You could indeed get enough cards to get a pretty good deck.
Pretty
for that.
reasonable deck.
So one thing I was just
Also, just as a quick point, if anyone out there is in the beta, you can now spend real money to buy gems. It's still beta, so there will be a wipe before final release.
because they're still tweaking the economy.
Yeah, well,
Tweaking lots of things.
yeah, but
Yeah.
any gems that you buy will be returned. Will be returned to
To
you.
just have the gems again,
Yeah.
right? At
Yeah.
the after the last wipe.
Whenever the actual release comes out, you will have all those gems again. So you're not just throwing money into the void.
Yeah. But I was thinking about like in Magic Online,
Yeah.
the like going infinite is a combination of you're drafting, and when you win the draft you get X number of packs, which you can then use to go into new drafts.
Yeah.
Well, you need to find the event ticket somehow.
Right.
Yeah.
But you're also getting the value of your cards.
Right. You can sell the cards
You
to
can
other
sell the
people
cards,
for packs.
and so, whereas in this, like, if you come out with 5 wins, get 650 gems, all the cards you drafted, and your boosters. Even if you drafted 5 mythics somehow,
Yeah.
those won't actually help you. Like, there's no way to turn that into
That's right.
more
Yeah.
drafting. Right?
Yeah. You
But
can,
what
you can also
Arena-
enter draft with gold.
Yes, and so that's the thing.
So you
What-
can grind gold instead of buying more gems.
Yeah, what Arena has over MitGo is that you can earn gold every day. Every day there's daily events or like daily challenges that encourage you to play constructed. And what's nice is that some of them are things like win 2 games with a deck of these colors, but some of them don't even require you to win.
Yeah.
Some of them are cast 30 white spells or attack with 15 creatures, like not all at once, like over however many
mostly,
games.
yeah.
So, you can play for like, I don't know, half an hour a day, maybe 45 minutes, and the worst case scenario, you're playing Magic, which is still fun. At least I think so. That's why I'm doing this show.
That was the idea, at least, when we
Yeah.
started the show. Now
but
we
you
all
can,
hate each other.
You can grind out, again, like I said, you should, the theory is you should be able to, over the course of a week, earn a draft for free just by playing constructed with this collection.
You don't get any gold for winning a draft, though.
No, you only get gems for winning the draft. Yeah.
But you can also just put together 6 wins in 2 drafts, right? Or maybe it's maybe it has to be 7. I don't know. But
I'm
you
just
get to
three-
keep those gems if you don't draft
Yeah.
them immediately, and then you can
Yeah.
add the next pile of gems you get.
I'm just imagining getting into the situation where you have like 4,500 gold and 650 gems.
Yeah.
And being like, God.
yeah, for sure. That's gonna be frustrating.
So
yeah.
there's also
Oh.
they introduced a constructed league.
right.
So previously,
Right.
all in the previous iteration of the beta,
I mentioned that earlier.
yeah, all you could do was play ranked constructed, and that's it. And again, everything right now, including the drafts when they introduce them, everything is just best of 1 matches because there's
No sideboards,
No
yeah.
sideboards. They're just this is all in the greater benefit of the beta test. But they've added a quick constructed, they call it, which is you pick your deck, you go in, you can buy into the league with a mere 500 gold or 95 gems, which is like 50 cents. 95.
Yeah.
You can buy 750 gems for $5.
Yeah.
So
75
95
cents or something. Like if it was 100.
No, it's $5 for 750
Yeah.
gems. So it's anyway. It's
None
a very
of us
small
can do
amount.
math, but we love
Yeah.
Magic the Gathering.
So, and again, 7 wins or 3 losses. And then what you get from wins there is for 0 wins, you get 100 gold and 3 uncommons. For 1 win, 200 gold and 3 uncommons. Then 300 gold and 3 uncommons. 400 gold and 3 uncommons. 500 gold, 2 uncommons and a rare. 600 gold, 2 uncommons and a rare. 800 gold, an uncommon and 2 rares. And for 7 wins, you get 1,000 gold, 1 uncommon and 2 rares. So that's another way that you can sort of increment the thing. Again, it's 500 gold to buy in, so only at
67 cents.
yeah. So at thank you.
No problem.
So at 4 wins,
It was a problem.
At 4 wins, you've broken even, but netted a couple cards. At 5 wins, you've actually earned 100. So that's another way to do stuff.
When it says individual card, that's not a wild card. That's just like a random card that
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
given to you.
Correct. So I haven't yet dared dive into the.
Interesting that constructed is gold and draft is gems.
And I think that's I think that's very intentional. I mean, there's so overall, I actually am pretty happy with the direction that they are taking the economy and how they're rewarding players for their time overall.
I want to slam them, but oh my god, we're going to draft now.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. There's a lot of complaints because it's there's a lot of sort of things of like, oh, this just seems like any mobile game with its in-game currencies, and it's like, it's one currency that you earn and the one currency that you buy, and people being like, I wanted better from Wizards, which is, I don't know, I think a optimistic if naive expectation. Like this is how these games work, and for years we've been saying we want MitGo to be a modern app, and well, here they are.
They're working on it.
And yeah, it's annoying that the gems don't necessarily add up in useful ways, and yeah, that's intentional, right? So it's like, $5, 750 gems. At least there's that. At least one of the purchase levels is exactly enough for a draft, and
Right.
not slightly more than a draft, so that you're like, what do I do with these 50 extra gems lying around, right? Like, at least it's just, that is 1-to-1. But then, as you buy more gems at once, then you get a deal, right? Because $5 for 750 gems, or do you just spend $10 and get 1,600 gems? Or, what did I say? Yes, $100 for 20,000 gems.
Right, so you can make your drafts a little bit cheaper if you're like trying to see the long game and
If you
just
just
buy a whole bunch of gems.
Put $100 in there under the assumption that you're going to be drafting a lot.
Yeah.
I can
And
see,
then you don't have to think
I can
about it
see
till
that
next
happening.
month,
Yeah, exactly,
at
right?
least,
So it's
hopefully.
like, I
Start winning more.
don't know. It's even the aspects of this economy that feel like the kind of quasi like gross mobile app sort of
Free-to-play
free-to-play
things,
thing
yeah.
that we've seen from other things.
Yeah.
I don't begrudge Wizards. Like,
Yeah.
I don't expect Wizards to be like, we're the ones who are gonna take a stand.
Right. No,
you know?
I think if you've spent any time at all so far enjoying Wizards of the Coast's digital products, you should understand that they are not at the forefront of video games. And if anyone expected them to be, that was foolish.
This app,
They make a great game.
I'm actually amazed by how Arena looks and how it
Yeah.
runs and how they've been treating it. It's clear they actually hired people who know how to make a modern app.
I think,
Yeah.
and I haven't played it much yet. I watched you play a little bit after a podcast a little while ago, and there's some things they've done differently. When I watched the first stream, it was like Amaz against Gabby months ago or whatever. I was like, okay, it looks like they've just pretty much stolen everything from Hearthstone.
And
Honestly,
fine, yeah.
I'm totally fine with that. And I
Yes.
think it's great. I think they should steal everything from Hearthstone
And
that they
Eternal,
want to
and
steal.
Gwent and any of those
Sure.
games.
Yeah, it's like Yeah, by all means.
Gwent
look
looks
at
like
the,
backgammon to me.
Yeah.
I don't know
Look
if
at
there's
the
things to
field.
steal from Gwent. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
take the things that work.
all of these other kids that are making their millions of dollars, they're all your kids,
Yeah.
Richard Garfield. So you should just go ahead and
Yeah, it's
borrow
like
their
that one-
bike whenever you want.
It's like that one Penny Arcade
paid
comic
for
where
it.
they're talking about, or one of the characters is talking about how Maddie is that this Warhammer thing totally ripped off StarCraft.
Yeah.
and there's
Right,
blood
right, right.
shooting out of the other character's ears, right?
Yep, that was the one with the black mantle.
Oh,
It was
yeah,
like,
yeah,
I
yeah.
will,
Right,
I will
right.
scream the song that ends the world.
Yeah.
That's funny. But yeah, you can get a draft each week for grinding. If you're on more the constructed angle, I guess I'm happy to hear that you think for $100 you can probably build. Now, I want to hold you to this.
Okay.
Do you think you can build any tier 1 standard deck? Because sometimes we see these decks that like revolve around a bunch of mythics. I played a deck that was like 40 rares, 23 mythics, and like 7 commons or something.
Like,
Yeah, well, I mean,
like,
it was called Mythic.
Yeah, I don't know exactly how standard is going to knock together.
Right.
Yeah, like if we see another like Zendikar block where you need like 4 Vengevines and 4 Lotus Cobras.
I think this
and,
standard
like,
is actually going to turn out to be pretty cheap pretty soon because there's so many good
So many
economies in
amazing
Dominaria.
uncommons.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think it also probably depends on what the mana base
And the
looks like
land,
in
well,
standard.
they're all regular rares, right?
Yeah,
Like,
they're all regular rares.
Yeah, so getting
but
together
like,
your regular rares.
I
makes it
mean,
hard.
you've got $100. Maybe it's your birthday, you know, and you're like, it's me time, and you spend $100 on Arena
Yeah.
to buy a constructed deck, and you don't get enough,
Right.
right? Where do you prioritize? Right, and I mean that's like going into a card shop and being like, well,
Yeah.
I've got $100 to spend on a standard deck, and the guy's like, or the person behind the counter's like,
Well, you won't be able to get the dual lands.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. It's
you know.
like
Yeah.
$100, you say? Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me introduce you to my friend Challenger decks. You can have
Yeah.
2 of them, maybe
Yeah.
3 if taxes aren't that bad. Yeah. So comparing those two things is good, and it's great to hear that like your $100 goes a lot farther in MTG Arena. That's nice to hear.
I mean, you could certainly make any deck that you could make in real life for $100.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
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 sounds like
I think generally speaking, the fact that they are keeping Arena completely quarantined from paper Magic, and that there is no secondary
Oh, yeah.
market, means that overall they can reduce the cost. Right, $5 for a draft. That's terrific.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And it
$5
is.
a draft
I mean, it
terrific.
is a little refreshing to have that, like, you know, whatever the new hotness thing is. You know, your Jace or your whatever.
It's just a wild card away.
And there's no. It's not harder to get. It's not more
Yeah.
expensive than
Yeah.
any other.
No,
card.
and this is super refreshing, and thank you, Hearthstone, for
Yeah,
figuring that
and-
out.
and again, it
and
was-
thank you, Wizards, for stealing it.
600 gems for 3 of the 8 card boosters means that for $450, right, you're getting 24 cards, 3 of which are rare,
Right.
right? Like it's overall, it's just a cheaper thing because there is no secondary market, right? You can't then go on, you can't then go and
Yeah,
flip it.
let's talk about this a little bit if we have time.
Yeah.
Just MTGO, the first and so far I guess only official other way that you can play Magic on a computer is tied still to the paper card world, right?
Yeah.
Like you can do a process that's called redemption, where you push a button, the computer says, oh, I see you have like 1 of every card from Rivals of Ixalan. We're going to remove those from your account and send them to you in a box, which is like kind of awesome,
Yeah.
but also so silly.
Yeah,
Right? Like, people do it, yeah.
That's why cards on Magic Online. That is the only reason cards on Magic Online have value,
Right.
because specifically like for foils, right? You can, if you get 1 of every card in a set in foil,
They'll send you the box.
then
with
they'll
foil.
send you the full set in foil, which is what vendors do. So they
Yeah.
can go, hey, look, I have the entire set in foil. I'll sell this to you for like $600. I have no
They
idea.
piece it out on eBay a lot.
Generally, yeah. But it's like,
Put in their stores, yeah.
that's because you can turn an entire set digitally. So they need to get every card because you can turn that into real cards and then you can sell the real cards at GP. That's why cards in Magic
just your
Online,
LGS or whatever,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's why
Yeah.
the cards have that value.
And then the packs
But
need to
Arena's
also
totally-
be tied to the price of packs
Yeah.
on paper, right?
Yeah.
So,
But
and
Arena
then
is
that
completely
makes
walled off
draft
from
called.
that.
Of course, they're actually
worth
doing
$14,
they're
right?
doing the opposite in Arena. They're actually experimenting with giving you Arena cards in packs of Magic.
Right. Now, this
Yeah.
is the other thing. Yeah, this was like a meme at YJ too, that just a bunch of my friends always joked about how Magic Online was so underserved. It'd be great if, like, in every one of these, well, okay, not the Final Fantasy one, but every few boosters you get a token, or you used to, and it'd be great if on the back, instead of just an ad for F&M, there was like a code where you could like get something, anything on Magic Online, whether it was like one ticket or a pack or like a promo foil or anything, you know. And now they're doing that with Arena, which is so cool, because it's just great to be able to, as like a shopkeep, you know, show off what the game is in all of its forms, right?
If you're looking for
Starting
that,
from the paper place.
yeah, if you're looking for that, that's still sort of in a pilot program, isn't it?
Probably. I saw a shot on.
I think it's only like, or they're only running it in certain places.
It's only in New
Right.
Zealand right
Yeah.
now.
It's only in New Zealand. Okay.
Yeah, New Zealand. For those who are less familiar with mobile apps and things like that, New Zealand is where they beta test stuff like this, because it's very similar culturally to English-speaking white Western cultures elsewhere in the world, but very small. So they're like, before we do this in America, let's test it in New Zealand.
Like how it released Quake 3 to Linux users first.
Also,
Right.
Yeah, we need to test if this game works. We need 500 testers. Oh, give it for free to the entire Linux community worldwide.
Perfect.
Everyone who has a functioning Linux build now can play Quake 3.
Nice.
Ooh, we fired one. We have 8.
Ouch.
Yeah.
That's sweet.
Sorry, you were going to say.
I was actually really curious because, I mean, obviously you can't trade cards.
Yeah.
And I assume at some point they're going to implement Modern because we have rotation coming up,
That's a good question, Cam.
right?
I don't
I don't think
even-
we should hold them to that. But I'm
Yeah, well, I
hoping
mean,
that
like,
the beta
some
is done
kind
by
of-
the time they can offer standard. That's what I'm looking
well,
forward
like
to, which would be
some
October,
kind
right?
of like, say I buy in heavily into Kaladesh and Amonkhet cards.
Right.
Right. Well, can you get Kaladesh cards?
No,
Right,
no.
you can't get Kaladesh cards.
No, you can't.
It started with
But like Amonkhet rotates at the
block,
same
yeah.
time as
Kaladesh.
Kaladesh.
Yeah, so it's like
So-
Ixalan cards, yeah.
When those cards rotate, they're just like,
yeah, for sure.
and
They
maybe
all
that's,
turn into default cards or something.
yeah, either that or you dust them.
Well, yeah, I don't
Yeah,
know if
right.
there isn't a plan for dusting your old mythics right
Not
now,
currently,
right?
no.
But maybe they'll give us that at some point.
Yeah, because you
Maybe
can't dust
if,
anything.
If you
either.
just don't care about it of like whatever Arena
Yeah.
calls eternal. So yeah,
I think they should
that's a
give
good
us
point.
one of those two things: either a way to
When-
destroy the cards below your
Yeah.
fifth of, for some value, anything, or planning to pump out the old sets.
Yeah,
which
you
would be
better
great.
get-
At
they'll
least
get
back
turned
to
into,
modern.
like,
Yeah.
Because
vault
modern
value
would
or
really
something.
attract people.
because
right?
they've said that at launch they intend to have a bunch of stuff like
Standard and draft, right?
a version on Mac, actual drafting, and yes, all of standard, which
Presumably be standard as of when
That's
that
the
is-
thing.
when
Yeah,
that
yeah.
launches.
So it gives them time. gives them time, yeah.
originally everyone assumed that they were just starting with Amonkhet and then they were going to go back and add Kaladesh, but now it's probably
okay.
that they'll just do whatever the fall set is and be like, well, Kaladesh is rotated, so we're not adding that
I
right
think
now.
that's a weird assumption, actually, because a year is a totally reasonable amount of time for a beta, right? So just saying
Yeah.
that if they just release the sets as they come out on
Well,
this
because
beta,
it cycles
and then,
in October, right?
yeah, it's
Yeah.
coming up October. But I mean,
I could see this releasing in the fall and then just not adding Kaladesh
yeah,
right
for
away.
sure. Yeah,
So-
I think that makes more sense.
Amonkhet and Kaladesh cycle at the same time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I mean,
Yeah.
they don't. I'm saying they don't need to add Kaladesh
Yeah.
if it's cycled at that point. Again, I do think that they will eventually go backwards, but I don't think that it's going to be a
high priority. Yeah.
Right.
But I'm just glad that they're building on a new system that they
Yeah.
seem to be able to add cards to a lot more quickly.
Yeah.
Also, shout outs to the art team because like all the little ridiculous animations and 3D models and stuff when cards appear and the when you cast a saga, it's just like it's really neat. All the stuff
great,
that's
yeah.
going on is really really cool.
Yeah, I saw a dragon breathe over your computer screen,
Yeah,
fire, and
that was
like it
Glorybringer.
was. Yeah, it was like
Yeah, it's
swooping
basically
around and looked cool.
basically any mythic and most rares get some kind of flashy thing.
Right.
And then occasionally uncommons get like, a little bit of stuff.
Yeah.
Like Merfolk Mistbinder and Legion's Lieutenant, the ones that buff your whole team, they do like a thing that's like sort of goes pring,
Cast a
like
spell
goes
straight out of Eternal. Yeah.
goes wide, and
Yeah.
I mean, I also enjoy the voice acting for the Planeswalkers. It's
wow.
it's correctly campy,
yeah.
Nice.
right?
I liked when it was having an error and my sacred cat started talking like Gideon.
That's sweet.
Yeah.
Did you report that? Because you should probably like
Yeah, they know about it.
report,
It was like
publish. Yeah.
it was like you cast Sacred Cat and it goes, Amonkhet will not fall. And
That's
it's like,
amazing.
Okay.
Holy. Don't mess with
Oh,
that,
you're so
kitty.
cute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually do really like though that when you cast Regal Caracal,
Yeah.
when it enters the battlefield, it goes, "Meow," and then when it makes its little cat friends, they go, meow. Like
Yeah.
it's like a cranky old
Yeah.
moggy, and the other
Yeah.
ones are like, hello.
Fresh kitties.
Yeah. So anyway, that's basically the sort of the TLDR of where the Arena economy announcement.
If it took you longer than this podcast
Yeah, I was
to
going
read
to say,
this article,
would-
problems.
You would have
yeah.
been faster to just read it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the DR stands for didn't read. So if you didn't read it,
Yeah.
then we just told you all about it. And I don't know. Generally, I think they're actually going in a direction that I think makes a lot of sense, and I'm excited for drafting times.
If you only read this article from today recently and didn't otherwise know what the vault did, it's how you get cards reconstructed.
So they've actually. So here's speaking of the
I learned that today.
earning gold thing. The first win of the day gets 250 gold. Wins 2 through 4 get 100 gold. So you can earn 550 gold a day.
Also, not to jump into a constructed league, right?
Yeah. Also, the quests, they've removed the quest type that requires a win with a 2-color deck. Meaning, and the quest rewards are now 500 and 750 gold. And so those are things like casting spells of a certain color, attacking with creatures, playing lands. So that's ones you don't have to win to get. So you can easily earn a draft if you play every day. So yeah, pretty excited. And you still get a pack at 5, 10, and 15 wins over the course of a week.
Right. So this is definitely like fitting into the game as hobby model of gaming,
Yeah.
right? Like World of Warcraft.
They want to.
Like, kind
They've
of,
said
right.
you
they're-
get in, you do your wizard chores.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they've said that they're sort of their pillars of how they want the economy to function is to value, like for the more casual player, they want to value their first hour to 90 minutes a day. If someone logs in for an hour every day, they want that person's time to feel valuable.
Right.
But then also, if someone's just jamming on it, they want to have options
Some light at the end of the tunnel for those people.
for that
right?
person
Yeah.
to feel like, things like the quick constructed, things that they can jam games and if successful, feel appropriately rewarded for being very good at Magic.
Right.
Right.
So
Okay.
there
Yeah.
you go. That's their intent.
I guess it's like the fact that there's daily quests on Arena, I'm a little conflicted about. I'm like pretty addicted to Hearthstone only because they have daily quests. Like
Yeah.
I just get on and I crush my dailies and I log off and then I feel better about not playing Hearthstone anymore.
I have played
Yeah.
way less Mint-Go since I got into the Arena beta, and it's because like it'll be like late at night. I'll be finally done my work, and I'm like,
I need to do my dailies.
No,
right?
it's
Yeah.
not even that.
No?
It's like
Okay.
I should go to bed, but I don't really feel. I'm still sort of wound up. Oh, you know what? I'll just jam out a little. I'll just jam out a couple rounds of quick constructed, and just like for me, it's like, oh yeah, my dailies. You know what? I'll do that. I'll just wind down. I'll spend half an hour doing this, and then I'll go to bed. And it's for me, it's less like, oh, I got to get in there and do my wizard chores, and more like, oh yeah.
Yeah.
I have an excuse to do this.
No, that's
Nice.
good. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's
I guess
sort of comforting that like you're spending your time. It's like you're doing a little thing just to sort of relax.
Yeah.
But there isn't like it also when you actually want to play for real later on, doing that little thing to relax will actually help you incrementally.
Yeah. So I think it's neat.
Yeah. Yeah.
I will watch with interest how it develops.
The game is still good.
For sure. And I mean,
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
the best thing is at the end of the day, this is all still actually Magic the Gathering, which
Yeah.
it turns out is
Yeah.
a very, very good game.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess we'll wrap it up there. Thanks everybody for joining us. A reminder that Tap Tap Concede is brought to you by Card Kingdom at cardkingdom.com/LRR, and all of this is brought to you by you at patreon.com/LoadingReadyRun. So for Cameron,
Hello.
and Nelson,
Enjoy your drafts, you lucky bastards.
I'm Graham, and we'll talk to you next time. Bye.